Hello there survivors, welcome back to another build tutorial in ARK Survival Ascended. Today we're building this wizard's tower that I've designed, which also functions as an aviary on top for all your RGs, pterodons and other flyers of a similar size. This build should be totally possible on both official and your own servers or single player. There is a little bit where I use some overlapping, but I have an alternative for official if you can't do any of those overlapping structures. I do, however, use a custom cosmetic, but it is approved for official as well. It's called the Manor Mod Custom Cosmetic. So if you go and look for that in the mod list, download that, you will be good to go. And it adds a lot of nice little details that make a tower like this or any castle type build just a lot more fun and look a lot nicer. As always, if you enjoy these tutorials, please don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and feel free to leave some suggestions for future builds down in the comments below. Let's get to building. Of course, as always, we have to start with the foundation, and we're gonna start by making a little circle like this with the triangle foundations, and then going around with another layer just around the entire circle to basically create a bigger shape like this. And then if you've done it correctly, you should be able to attach a normal foundation on the sides of this entire circle, lining up like so. And then we can fill in the remaining corners with triangles again, and that should give us a nice little circular shape to get started for the main tower here. Now, it doesn't matter too much if you have uneven terrain and this is not like a flat space, because this is just the start of the tower and we're actually gonna raise it up by 5 ceilings in total. So yeah, we're gonna make a little bit of a higher platform before we start building our towers and our entire build. So for all of these sides, you just want to go up by 5 in total to create a little bit of a higher platform for this tower to start on. Of course, you can always make it shorter if you prefer, but I mean, for this design I've chosen to go at least this high before making my platform, because I want to have that spiral staircase going around the tower a little bit. And of course, one thing you could do is have some hidden doors so that you can still access that platform. Maybe if you want to have like a generator there or anything else, hidden storage, you can have it in the inside, of course. Once we've made these walls, we want to start adding in the platform, so we can go around adding in these ceilings on the wall sections that are too wide. And then of course we can fill in our triangle pieces in the corner to fill in this platform nicely. And then we can actually just fill in the entire middle with the triangle pieces as well. Same as we did for the foundation, but now raised up for this platform. And this is where we're going to start our actual tower on. So then it would be nice to decide where the side tower is going to be. On my build, I'm going to build the tower, the extra little tower, to this side. So that is going to be where I want to have the connection. That means that this is going to be the side where I want to have my front door, basically. I'm going to start with 2 of these quarter walls so that we can line up the actual door here right in the middle of the structure. Then we can grab our normal walls and go around this entire shape to start our tower shape in, because we're not going to have any special windows there. Then again, this is going to be the side where I will connect to the other tower. So I'm going to raise this up so it is 5 in total. So 5 high in total again. Then for the other sides, it's all going to be a little bit different. Here on top, we want to first add in a layer of normal walls. Then we're going to skip one. We're going to do the same over here. And we're going to do the same over there. Then on top of these layers we've just created, we want to add in 2 quarter walls on the sides of all these walls. So we'll do the same thing on all sides, going around like so. And then on top of these we can add another 2 layers of walls, so like that. We should have a big little gap in the middle of all of these walls, which will be clear in a moment why, because we can add in a window in that gap so that we have some light coming into the tower build. For those two that we left open, we want to again grab out our quarter walls and fill them in these corners. Basically so that we can align a wall in the middle again. So we're going to have a window in the middle on the different height there. Then we can turn it into a normal wall again. Place them in a layer above. So like that. Take out our quarter walls again, lining them up with the sides on both of these. Like so. We can then have the normal walls on top to finish off the height of the wall. And you guess it, place a window in the gap that we have created on both of those sides. So right now we have the tower looking a little bit random like this, but it will all make sense in a little bit. We can grab some pillars and start raising them up until the top of the tower. Make sure to line them up correctly, and they don't have to overlap in any way, so we can just make them nicely go up so that we have some extra support, an extra little bit of shape to this tower design. And of course, we want to make sure that we've done that for all of the different corners here. And we can, of course, add in the door here on the front. Then what you want to have for this tutorial, as I said, you want to have the manor mod for the custom cosmetics. We're going to select the first stone window skin because that is going to transform this into a bit more of a castle tower look, like so. So we're going to change all of our windows into that nicer looking window design, which really feels like a proper tower if you add those in. And then we're also going to take out the short stone single door frame that looks like this, and that adds a nice custom door frame for our castle, or tower at least. Then we want to take out a wooden thin pillar and just go all the way up to the top layer right here. And we can start adding in some of the floors. So after two walls, we basically want to add in another floor with these triangle ceilings. I prefer wood personally. Of course, feel free to pick whatever. I actually also really like to skin these into the frontier skin because I like that wood a little bit more. And then we want to close off half of this so that we can still go further up. And you want to make sure that what you do lines up a little bit like this with the door. Because then when we start adding in our staircase here, it ends up being nicely in line with the door that we've added. So we can go up to this layer. Basically, then we want to reach the next layer and do the same trick, to be honest. So we just go around with the ceilings, the triangle ceilings to start with, making a shape like this. Then we want to take out our stairs, we line them up again. This is actually the same lineup as we had before on the different floor. So yeah, you can have the stairs going like this. Or what you could also do is have the stairs going down all the way in one motion. But then it's a little harder getting off at this floor. And depending on what you prefer, you can actually close off these gaps a little bit more. If you want to have a little bit more space to walk on, you can make these gaps a little bit smaller. And I would definitely add some railings around it so you don't just fall down. And I would do the same right here on this layer as well. Doesn't leave a whole lot room on the interior, but it's more meant as an aviary on top, of course. The next step that we want to do is expand this platform by adding some ceilings like this on the outside of the current shape we've made. And there we go. And of course, you probably guessed it, we have to fill in these corners with some triangle pieces to finish the whole round shape. This, of course, doesn't look great, so we want to make sure that we get some supports here. So we're going to start with the roofs going down into the build like so, as some proper supports. So we just go around and do that on all the normal ceilings. And you can probably guess that we also want to fill in these corners with the triangle roof pieces, so that we have this whole nice next layer basically jutting out from the building adding a little bit of extra depth to the build as well. Okay, and then here on top, again, we want to take out our thin pillars and we want to add them 3 high on all of the corners of the normal ceilings here. So we're just going to go around adding all of those in, and that's basically going to be our supports for the roof, of course. And by using just these thin pillars, we leave plenty of space in between them so that you can fly in with an RG or a pterodon, so that you can actually use this top part of the tower as a proper aviary, because you do have a decent amount of space for a couple of birds. And of course, if you do not have enough space, you can also add a few of these towers around your base, I guess, and then maybe even make some walls between them. Okay, then what we want to do is have some walls going up in these middle bits and then take out the bottom ones, and we do that on all of these corners basically. So the easiest way is probably just to fill them in first, and they should stick because of the pillars next to them, making this all supported. So yeah, we take out the bottom 2 each time because we do not want to have proper walls, unless of course you prefer it. But since it is an aviary, I like to keep the view around. Then here at the bottom, we basically just want to add a railing so that it's all safe to walk around on this platform and you don't just walk off your tower and fall all the way down. So we're just going to go around adding these railings in everywhere. Like so. Okay, then for the next part, we want to basically add in these walls temporarily, just so that we have some points to snap off from. So on top of the pillars, you should be able to get this snap point. You can place down some temporary walls so that we can snap some sloped walls of them. And that makes this nice little shape with the other walls that we already had between the pillars. And we get a nice little shape going on. Now, once you've placed them, you can remove those upper walls because we no longer need them. And we should keep all these sloped walls in place. And it looks quite nice. Now, underneath, we want to snap some railings. Then we want to also have a railing down there. And then basically just repeating this pattern just as a way to add in some extra detail here around the top of the tower. Yeah, I just like the way this looks. Adds a little bit extra than just having the boring walls. So there we go. That should be the trim, and it's still big enough for your flyers to fly in and out of the tower. Then it's time for the roof. Now, if you do not have any overlapping available, we're just going to start with a pretty default roof. So for these corners, you want to start with the triangles. And then, of course, you go into normal roofs, etc., all the way around. And then for the next layers up, it's just going to be triangles all the way to the top. However, if you do have overlapping available, you can make the roof a little bit nicer by first going to your ramps and snapping those all the way around. And you can see the little overlaps happening. But this just allows you to have basically a little bit of a curve to your roof. Again, only possible with overlapping enabled, because otherwise it probably won't let you place any of these into each other. But yeah, I kind of like the look. Of course, if you're building with mods, they usually have corner pieces for these lower shallow sloped roofs. But unfortunately, in normal ARK, we only have these ramps, of course. So yeah, now we have this little slope going on, nicely overlapping without having any weird bits. Like the corners are quite nice still with this overlapping in place. Then as a little bit of detail, you want to basically go around the edge of the roof. This can only be done on the ramps, because I believe on the normal roof pieces, you can do this on the normal ones, but not on the corners. So then, well, you can still do them, and I guess just leave out the corners. Because what this does is there's something sticking out from the wall, making it less flat, and just adding that little bit of extra depth to this whole roof build. And yeah, I'm always a big fan of that when you can make that work. So you have a little overlap going on instead of it being totally flat with the walls. And then for the next layer, we basically do start going with the normal roof. So we snap in our triangles, and we can just go around like this, making our normal roof shape like we would do for both of the different variations that I've showed you. So yeah, we get this shape that should all line up together. And then of course you want to have one more layer to finish this roof completely. There we go. But now it does have a little bit of a curve to it, which in my opinion just adds that little bit of extra character to it. So that basically is this normal tower going on like this. But of course, to add a little bit more character to it, I want to have that little side tower going off here. So what we want to do is you want to take out these two walls that is lined up with the little floor that we made inside. You want to add in our quarter walls on the corner. And then of course, we want to add in a door here in the middle so that we can leave this little tower and add our second tower to it. And then we want to start a little walkway, of course. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out actual stone quarter ceilings, place them like so. Then we can go into the normal ceilings, add 2 of those, and then go back to the quarter ceilings again and add them here at the end. So that's going to be the little bridge attaching from this tower to the other tower. Then we want to take out our quarter walls, fill them in along the edge like so, just to create the feeling that it's a little bit stronger than just this one little piece. So then we want to add in some railings here along the side of our walkway, of course, because we do not want to be falling down this for sure. So we add those. And then here underneath, we actually want to add in our slope walls like this, so that we can have some support, of course, for this whole little bridge that is going over to the other tower, like so. And then, of course, we can fill in with a roof as well, making sure that the textures are nicely to the outside. And then you should have one piece left to fill in a ceiling upside down so that you have the nice stone arch like this going to the other tower. Then what we want to do is start with a triangle ceiling here. We can do half of it. The other one does not have support. So what we do instead is we take our stone pillar, we snap that to the middle here of the new tower that we're creating. And we're going to go all the way down into the ground. That should give us the support that we need. And we basically build our tower around that one. So we just want to make this little circle going on like this. Then we also want to continue our railings across all of this platform as well, since we definitely also still do not want to fall off. We also want to take out our quarter walls, continue the same one that we had for the walkway around the bottom of this tower to make it all line up nicely on the same height. And then what we can do is take out our normal walls. And then we go down by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in total. Of course, if you did make this tower design any different height, you will have to change that around. But I think this is a pretty nice, decent size for this to make it all look quite nice and like it is a properly strong supported tower. And then of course here we can also do this all the way down like so. Then here at the bottom we want to take out our stone triangles, snap them in like this, and then maybe make this point going down like so. And then of course the pillar is left to support this. You can of course line this up that it just touches the ground, but I kind of like having this little pillar and feeling a little bit more magical. It is based on like a wizardly tower feel anyway. Of course we also want to add in the door right here. And once again we can use the skin that we've used before to make the door a little bit nicer. We can then look for battlements and then take the last option, which should give us these nicely curved battlements. And we can take them around the walkway and as well around this tower, because this really will make this feel like a proper castle. And that's why I like this custom cosmetic so much. It does work on official, so definitely recommend using this one and also checking out which other ones there are, because they can help you a lot with your builds. I mean, that looks already really cool and it looks like a proper castle. Then we take our pillars and we place them on the corners of each of these for this little tower, like so. And then we snap the triangle roofs to these pillars like so and make a little roof for this tower. And then as a little bit extra detail, we can add this, because as I said, you can't snap them to the outside like we did for the other one, but I still think we want to add something. So this looks quite nice for this small little tower. It's just a little extra viewpoint, or you can add your teleporter there or whatever you want. I kind of like it, but I definitely like the look of this. Now then we definitely still have a little bit more details to add. First of all, we want to go into the normal wooden pillars and go down the main base of this structure like so, adding in some extra details. So basically just around all of these corners, have the wooden pillars go down like this, so that it has a little bit of extra color to these walls. Looks a little bit nicer, and yeah, just a little bit more detailed instead of these flat walls that we've had so far. There we go. So basically all the way around. And then you have two options. You can either also use these battlements again if you wish to, but I kind of like the contrast of having the wooden railings here. But again, totally up to you and what you prefer. I just really like the look of this for here. And then we want to stop right here around this corner, because we're going to make the staircase down from there. What you do want to do is maybe also add in the beams like so, the thin one. I just kind of like the look of that again, having a little bit more of an accent around the build, bringing in the different color of the wood. Then we want to add a full ceiling right there. That's where we're going to start our staircase winding down, and then we can add 2 triangles right there to lead in the staircase as a whole. Then we want to take out some stone stairs, have them go down one like this. We can take out our triangles, make them meet up like here, and then we can continue the staircase again, going down by 2, and then bringing them back in to these triangles. Of course, depending on your landscape, you might want to have less steep of a stair, so maybe only go down by 1, because then you can go circle around further. But for here, as you can see, this works totally fine. Then we want to, of course, support our staircase, so we want to add in all of these side pieces and just make the walls of the staircase go all the way down into the ground. And again, you can use some hidden walls, hidden door walls here, so that you can still access this and the tower. So all the space underneath here, you could still use for some hidden storage or whatever you want to do. Generators, I don't know what you prefer, but you can of course still make use of the space on the inside if you want to. But yeah, you just want to go around, fill in all these walls, make sure they go all the way down. And yeah, then we have quite a nice little design here. We want to have the beams here on the platforms that are going straight, because we can have that little detail continue through. And then again, we can also have the pillars here on the corners of these walls, so that we have those details continuing on as well, adding in that touch of color and making it all blend in with each other. Of course, if you prefer stone pillars, totally go for that. And then once we've done that, we want to add in a little bit of a railing. Now here you have to go for wood, because those battlements that I showed you can only go on flat surfaces, so they can't go next to the staircase. There we go. And then you should end up with a nice spiral staircase like that, underneath the little arch from the one tower to the other as well. And I think that does look quite good indeed. So here we go. Here I am at my original wizard tower that I designed. As you can see, it's a little bit higher up because I placed it on a rock here in the landscape. But the general idea of what we've built is the same. I also have the JHV landscaping mod, which allows me to add in those vines, all the green things, all the extra plants basically, to bring it to life. But for most part, you can just totally build this without any mods necessary. So yeah, we have this staircase going up underneath the arch. This one is a little bit wider because I had this rock kind of blocking my staircase. So I had to make the staircase in that part at least too wide. But the rest is the same as we did in the tutorial. I really love this arch and these battlements. They really add a nice cool castle feel. then this is what you could do. You do have some space in the base of the tower to add a little bit of storage, maybe some crafting. And as you can probably hear, there is a tech generator hidden underneath. Could also be a normal generator, of course, whatever you have available. Then this is probably the place where you have the least amount of room, although you could still have some stuff on this side without any problems. Then here we have the little walkway going over to the other tower. As you can see, great spot for a little teleporter, but also just to enjoy your views, or maybe you want to have your crafting table with a view. Whatever you want, you can of course go ahead and do that. And then all the way up, you have your aviary, you have all the place for your RGs or your pterodons to safely be stored in the tower and instantly being able to get on and fly off for your adventures. So yeah, quite a nice design if I say so myself. And you can definitely park a decent amount of birds up here. You can see I have 4 RGs here and a pterodon. Probably could at least have one more. And if you scoot them in a little bit closer to each other, even more should be able to fit here without too much of a problem. Anyway, I think that is going to be it for this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, again, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know what tutorials you would like to see next. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.